Shalom. It's Brother Shamak. I want to start off, of course, giving our honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of Great Mills Home, rule well, and teach well. Shalom to everybody. That's the hopeful elect. And I just want to get right into it. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 26. It says, "For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But Yahweh have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and Yahweh have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things that are mighty." Right, so we see in this walk that not many are called. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, it don't matter how many people you try and teach this truth, they just not gonna get it. They're not gonna listen. It's gonna go in one ear and out the other. You know what I'm saying? But for some odd reason, and Lord's willing, we those men, we call ourselves the hopeful elect, so it's not really 100% boast, but we, for the most part, we the only ones that hearken and receive this understanding from the elder apostles and the men under them. The Lord didn't have to give us a gift of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and most people could care less about, the name of the Lord and how we're supposed to walk to receive salvation. So that's why I said not many. It says, "For you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh," right? You got smart people, so-called smart people. They smart in science. They smart in mathematics. They might be smart in technology. Might be smart in the science or if whatever you want to call it, like the science of the human body. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and a fear of the Lord, they don't really play no part in that aspect of life, right? And they also say that the Lord has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things that are mighty, right? So what's a weak thing that you would probably consider weak? Is faith. You know what I'm saying? Waiting on something that's, there's no evidence that it can happen. Which we got evidence. For example, we seen, chariots flying in the sky. You know what I'm saying? But with that is like this is Esau easily is saying that Esau blasphemes that. So it's still, even though it's seen, you got people that record the strange objects in the sky, it's still hard to see because the way that the world is set up. Esau blasphemes the angels. He says that the scriptures say that they're angelic. They look like, we know that they look like Israelite men. But Esau says they look like green humans, some type of green alien. We know that we know that Yahushua was a dark-skinned man, but here it is, Esau blasphemes. You know what I'm saying? And says that he's a pale-skinned human being. So it's the evidence is there where the Lord wants it to be, but the Lord ain't gonna straight up put all the evidence out there in the front. because he wants people to believe. I spoke of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. All right, so that would be considered weak, that we're believing on something that we can't really see. How you supposed to know if you can't see it? But like the scripture says, to be carnal minded is death. So we following after faith and we following after spiritual things which lead to life. It says, for you see your calling, brethren, how that not many, this is 1 Corinthians 1:26, for you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. You got a lot of mighty men that's getting ready to go to the military to fight for the Third World War. But you ain't got a lot of men that's ready to fear the Lord. For the most part, the most men that you're gonna have that's gonna fear the Lord. Let's go to it. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 3. It says, and they sung as it were a new song. Let me start up. Verse 2. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth, right? So the 144,000 which were redeemed, from the earth. Meaning they gonna be the only men that's gonna be bought back. You're gonna have the rest of the 1/3 women, which is gonna be women and children. But 12,000 men out of every tribe. That's not that big of a number. You know what I'm saying? It's literally it's a million. It's millions of people on the earth. It's millions of Israelites on the earth. Hundreds of millions. So, if I'm not mistaken, it might be like 7 billion people on the earth right now. So out of 7 billion people, it's only 144,000 men that's gonna be saved. 12,000 from each tribe. It's millions of men in each tribe of the nation of Israel. It's millions of Judites. It's millions of Jamaicans. It's millions of, Hispanics. It's millions of, natives. So why the Lord only got 12,000 out of each tribe that's gonna be saved? Because that's the Lord only dealing with a small few. This is the book of Romans chapter 11 and verse, let me start at verse 3. That's verse 4. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself. Let me start. I'll start at verse 3. Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. All right, so here it is. You got the prophets on the scene, but you got Israelites that's against that. Just like the heathen, they just like the heathen that want to tear us down and get the prophets off the street. It says, but what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. All right, so the Lord got a reservation. 7,000, 7 just means completion. and they ain't gonna bow to the image, to this beast system, to the sea hip. It's only so far that they gonna go in the society to make a living. It says, even so then, as this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. So it said that it's a remnant according to the election of grace. The Lord elected he's gonna elect his remnant through grace. Let's read it in NLT. It is the same today, for a few of the people of Israel have remained faithful because of God's grace. So the Lord is going to have a small few amount of men that's going to remain faithful because of the Lord's grace that he's pouring out and eventually going to take away. His undeserved kindness in choosing them. Undeserved kindness. All right. So the Lord, he didn't have to choose, and that's why the elect is going to be so grateful, because they didn't have to get chose. You know what I'm saying? The Lord can, once again, that's a small number, 144,000. It's not that big of a number, but it is great. That's a lot of people that's sticking together on one accord. Even in the midst of America, you got people that, the scriptures say, this is saying, in the world, united we stand, saying as far as, in God we trust, but most of these people don't trust in the Lord, and they not really truly united. You know what I'm saying? You got the so-called United States, but it's not really truly united. It's really division, and that's what Yahweh Shah is sending upon the earth, especially here in America. The Lord. Well, I ain't gonna say especially here in America, but the Lord is sending division on the earth, man. Period. Right. So for 144,000 men to all be on one accord, that's a lot. But once again, this is the Lord's remnant. Not many people are chose. This is the book of Romans 2. This is the book of 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10. Wherefore, rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. You know what I'm saying? Scripture say, let no man take thy crown, paraphrasing. We supposed to keep our seat. Basically, we ain't supposed to get up from our office. We supposed to stay in His truth, no matter what happened. No matter what test we got before us, for the Lord to try to for Satan to try to sift us. The scriptures say Satan have desire to sift you as wheat. It says, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. All right, so if we keep it up, the good works, fearing the Lord, studying, reading, whatever we got to do in order to, get more built up in the spirit, most importantly, everything, we're going to be able to keep our election. Because once again, this is the Lord, this undeserving election. We don't deserve to receive the grace that we are receiving from Yahweh Shem Shah. We're let's go to that. I ain't pull this scripture out in a minute. This This book of Isaiah chapter 64, verse 6. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousnesses are as filthy rags, and we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us away. Right, so all our righteousnesses is filthy rags, man. We literally, at the lowest state that we could possibly be. This is the lowest state these are the lowest level of vessels that we had to, that we were caused to fear the Lord in. We just got to continue to make our call and election sure, man. Knowing that this flesh is weak, knowing that this kingdom is temporary, knowing that our redemption draweth nigh, man. So Lord's willingness is edifying to an elect member for the water Yahweh Bashim Shah for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Till next time I say Shalom, Kwame Shalom.